This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. I don't know what the hell that was. It was this software. Hold on a second. Hold on. Where is that damn thing? Shit. That was weird. Hold on. I am here now, but that was some weird shit. Hold on. Okay. Wait. What is that? Why is it making the echoes? Hello? Uh-oh. What in God's name's happening? Gotta figure this out. Okay, there we go. Do I sound echoey right now while I'm talking? Can you guys hear that, or do I sound normal right now? Let me know if I sound normal. Okay, I think everything's back. Okay, it's what do you mean 2? It's 1. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think that's about right. That was weird. I couldn't, that thing just wasn't even on. There's this software and it just kept making that loud noise. Crazy. Okay, but you know, I want to start the show off. Right now there's this massive effort on the left out there to destroy, you know, like literally destroy the lives of anybody who voted for Trump or supported him in any way. So I'm going to look right in the camera and say, if you voted for Trump, don't be ashamed of it at all, okay? He did a lot of great things. I am ashamed of the people who, in the name of conservatives, went in, or whatever the hell they were, and attacked and went inside the Capitol and all that stuff. That's embarrassing and shitty, okay? But don't let anybody out there try to shame you at all. And as a matter of fact, if you are a Democrat and you're watching right now, you need to go out and defend the people that are being attacked, okay? Because everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe and who they want to vote for, okay? If you want this to be an absolute nightmare and it'll be like Nazi Germany, then don't defend them, okay?
No need
because
to
that's what it's going to turn into.
Week.
You're going to have one side, the media's all on their side, and you're not going to have a fair society at all. It's all going to be one-sided, okay? So if you voted for Trump, do not feel bad at all. He did a lot of great things, but do feel bad that there was people rioting at the Capitol. That sucked. Just like the left should have felt bad all summer long when there was rioting in all the cities in the country and the cities were burning down, okay, and destroying millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in damages, if not billions, and destroying the lives of many people. Of course, that wasn't, politically expedient for the left to care about at that point and say anything about it. Only when they saw the polls dropping did they finally say something, just like Biden, okay? So just realize that conservatives condemn violence on all sides, and the left only condemns violence, and I'm talking about the politicians, when it's on the opposite side that they're on, okay? So feel proud that your side is at least consistent. And that's a reality, and if you don't agree with it, you're just wrong, okay? It's a fact. So, anyways, don't be ashamed. Don't let people make you feel bad. It is what it is. And you ever watch Lookner's channel? He's a freaking left side broadcasting. I mean, he is the most biased person I've ever seen in my life. He is an embarrassment. Okay, he's out there. He put out tweets yesterday because Belichick was supposed to get the Medal of Freedom, right? So Lookner puts out these tweets going, "Wow, I can't imagine him doing this," and everyone, "Oh wow, that is weird. Oh yeah," and they're tweeting it out. So of course it puts pressure on a guy like that to have to cancel it. Okay, so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a freaking joke. All right. You can't if you want to really cause problems, keep denigrating the people who voted for Trump. Okay, keep doing it over and over again. Keep making them feel like marginalized human beings.
I do think they're still rioting over on the left side of the country.
It's just, God, it makes me so angry. And it makes me ashamed of just the entire country when that shit's going on. Like, you're literally going to denigrate an entire group of people because they didn't think the way you did. Right. So I hope for the Democrats in here that you go out and defend the people who are being attacked merely for believing something differently than you. Okay? Thank you. All right. Hey, good news on the DNA Doe project. Here, let me read this. It's the DNA Doe project put out a press release. It's more GEDmatch, but it says, effective today, January 11th, 2021, the terms of service at GEDmatch have been changed to allow unidentified remains to be compared against the entire database rather than just to those who have opted in. So that's freaking amazing. So that means, you sort of wonder if law enforcement's going to go, you know what? We lost the identification card for this person. We don't know who, But it's awesome, right? Because that means even in the case that we're going to try to fund, they'll have access to the entire database, right? It's awesome. So the way it worked before is you had to, they used to allow law enforcement to use every aspect. So if you want to know what happened, you could listen right now instead of chatting back and forth talking about something. The GEDmatch, they had this whole database of over 1 million people in it. And what they did was they did it a violent assault case at one point. And that wasn't part of their terms of service. They could only do rapes and murders. Okay, but this was and missing people, like that. But a violent assault.
Hallelujah for GED match.
Yeah, a violent assault wasn't in there. And so instead of just apologizing, because people would sort of understand. I mean, come on. I mean, a violent assault, right? Instead of just apologizing, saying we won't let that happen again, they removed every single person from the 1 million people, and it made it so that everybody had to go back onto GEDmatch and literally click on the opt-in button with the law enforcement shield. Okay, and nobody does that. I mean, it's just nobody takes the time to do that. Before, you were automatically opted in. But now you had to go there, and there's people that had crap on there, they're never going to go back. It wasn't, the database was slowly building back up over time. Okay, so the good news is they've opened up all the new accounts and all the old ones to the unidentified person identification. So that's great news, right? Hey, thanks, Scott Holland. So that's great news, right? There you go. And what's really kind of cool is they're a little bit, if you're concerned about having your results used for identifying does, you should remove your kit from GEDmatch. See, it's trying to it kind of guilts you into leaving it there. I like that shit. Hey, if you don't want to help find out who some missing people are, go ahead and remove it from GEDmatch and mark it private or for research. Opting out will no longer prevent that. Yeah, so the thing is opting out will no longer prevent that, but you have to go in and see, even people that were opted out, literally they're part of the unidentified person. The whole database is available for them. You have to actually do specific things. You have to go in there and remove your kit if you don't want that to be used. Hey, thanks, Boggle Queen, Barbara Smith, Katie 2, Barbara Smith again up there, Shelley Wagner, Katie,
Hot.
and Katie 2 again. Wow, you guys are... And then I think Zozo was earlier. Yeah, it's a little bit of a wave. All right. Oh my God, how did we do this? You know, when I started this show, the Blazers, we were down 9 points, and then just in that little bit of time, we're up 4 with 1:29 to go. That's some crazy crap right there. Wow. Oh. Uh-oh, they just made one.
It's a wave.
Yeah.
Comma surfer.
They just made it 3, so now it's a 1-point game. Oh, we're playing Toronto. Okay. So to make it, to go back to what I was saying before, I think the thing that would bring the country together is if people, citizens on the left, defended citizens on the right during this time, and literally boycotted shit like what Twitter's doing, all that stuff. It's horrible. Politicians are always going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting, but it's the people that can actually get along, right? Hey, thanks, Zozo and Lee D. Oh, God. Lillard just turned the ball over. Here, I got to go check this out. Oh, that's almost over. Be back.
Wave, keep the wave up.
Oh shit, man. See, Lillard just CJ McCollum, he just hit a shot to put it. They came back and got up by 1, and then McCallum just hit a shot to put us up by 1. Hey, thanks, Kevin Brown, Zozo, and Kit Kat again. There's 9.6 seconds to go, and it's their ball. Oh God. Ah, just a nightmare. Wow, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the mini wave. All right, so don't you think that's a good idea, Jamie? That everybody on the left should support people that voted for Trump, because everyone has a right to vote whoever they wanted to, and we can all just get along, and it'll be the citizens that get along, and the politicians will have to cave in and all get along as well. Doesn't that sound like a good idea?
Musical note, musical notes.
I noticed you haven't
Let's
replied
go
to anything
surfing
that
now.
I said.
Musical notes, musical note.
Musical notes, huh? Awesome. Wow, Kawhi Leonard was just somebody that you guys purchased for a season to win a championship. He was never going to stay there. All right, hold on. I got to watch this last second here.
Waves abound.
Boom! We won by one. They just missed a shot and the time ran out. Unbelievable. Yeah, we should all support each other, but it's going to happen. It's going to need to be. Here's what's going to have to happen, Jamie, is it's going to have to be people on the left are the ones, because they have all the cards. The media's on their side. The entire political structure's on the left side. Everything is on their side. So the only way that if you want to make a really scary time, just keep on doing what's going on, because it's literally going to turn into a situation where there's only one voice. Is that a French way to say "Go Saints," Jamie? Yeah. So I think it's gonna take a lot of courage from people on the left to defend their friends that don't think the way they do. All right. I think that's the answer. Oh, that was crazy. Man, right at the end there. Man, unbelievable. 112, 111, and we outscored them 36-25 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I didn't think we had a shot in hell in this game. Really. All right. Well, awesome. So good news there, and we got great news.
Hooray, we won.
We got great news on the the Blazers. We've got the Jed match stuff, and there isn't a middle anymore. There's very few people. That's the scary part about it. Everything's got so polarized, and it's all done by pressuring people. That's the problem. Yeah, so you're forced to pick sides all the time instead of, well, there's a little bit of a nuance there. I'm not,
What the hell happened to the middle?
Yeah, good question. Hey, thanks, Cindy M. Yeah. And see, and everybody loves Jamie, and, Jamie, and we've got tons of Democrats in here. Some bailed, the cancel culture types, because I didn't believe what they believe. Rebecca, N, I know. It used to be where Democrats and Republicans were very close, just a few differences.
Being more of a lefty, I think that's a great idea. The world can use more kindness and understanding. Beautiful thought, Gray.
Yeah, and in this time, it's going to take people on the left protecting people on the right. Okay, the right always protects the free speech and everything like that. But right now, there's this huge assault on free speech in the United States. Yeah, if you don't, it's free speech as long as you believe a certain way. Okay, and we know what way that is. That's right. There you go. Like my mom and dad are always, they've been in the middle of the road their whole lives. They were always Democrats. But see, the Democrats went so far radical, the party to the left, that it's unidentifiable to people that were on the left, or Democrats growing up. It was just kind of the same, just slight differences here and there. What are you talking about, Joseph? First Amendment is out the window. It's really scary. I mean, what they're doing to, like Parler. What it is it's a pressure game going on right now. Because right now, the PGA Tour canceled all of its tournaments at Trump golf courses for next year. And they've... that's a little bit more understandable but there's people that were just in the crowd at this rally. They're on no-flight lists, like they're terrorists and everything. And it's really creepy. It's like something right out of Nazi Germany. Yeah. So let's all defend free speech, everybody. Don't be one of those people out there that says, good, when somebody gets their account jacked. Okay? It's not good. It's not good at all. You should be one that says, man, I think that's terrible. And even when your other buddies go, oh, no, it's great. Are you support? No, I'm not saying that. It's just free speech. So you're supposed to defend free speech, even speech that you don't like. Okay? So there might be conspiracy people out there all over the place that, keep doing the, they're just conspiracy theorists out there. Okay? I mean, I don't believe in like 99.9% of the conspiracy theorists. I always thought that maybe there was something that went wrong in the election. It didn't make sense to me, the voting. Okay? But I always wanted to have evidence. The only thing I ever saw was the video in Georgia where they pulled the totes out and were counting. But they kept saying, oh, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. And I just never saw it. Okay? So I need to see things like that. And they had all these promises, but there's no information. So then you go, well, Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Okay, this is an update on, kind of an update, I guess. This is the update on that haunted house. Remember the one that they went in, they found the body in the freezer?
So I lived in there for 10 years.
The house that Ronald Miller once called home, now the center of a high-profile investigation.
Kids went in there Sunday night, I guess it was, or Sunday evening, late, almost dark. And they come back out and they opened the freezer and there's a body in the freezer.
Phillips sold the property years ago, but says the house has always had a certain reputation in the Norway community.
It's always been known that there's a few voices in that house and stuff, which there was.
After the body was found, investigators called Phillips in for questioning, but he was quickly released.
Everybody knows me as a person and I'm not a murderer.
Now a new twist as the Orangeburg County Fire District investigates what they're calling a suspicious fire that destroyed the home just one day after that body was found.
It was leveled to the ground. So evidently somebody's trying to cover up something. I don't know. I don't have the answers.
In Norway, Drew Ungst, WIS, News 10.
So that's it. That's the update on that one, but man. You'd think that there would have been a pretty much like a forensic investigation of the house before somebody would have had time to burn it down, wouldn't you? Seems kind of odd. And then we have an update on
introducing new extra charge coffee at Dunkin', because it's time for a little extra this year. Extra boost.
Extra boost.
So we can get it extra done. Get a medium hot or iced extra charge coffee for $2 with 20% more caffeine. Order ahead plus earn rewards. America runs on Dunkin'.
The family, they're still desperate to find their son. He went missing nearly a month ago while on his way home to Siena from school. Take a look, this photo on your screen. This is 21-year-old Jason Landry. It was taken just days before he disappeared. It was just released this weekend. The Texas State University student was believed to have been involved in some type of crash back on December 13th in Luling, Texas. His car was found abandoned, his keys, wallet, and phone also inside. If you have any information about his whereabouts, you're asked to call police.
The family of a missing Texas State student now say trained searchers will now take over looking for their son, 21-year-old Jason Landry. The family says while they are thankful for the volunteers, that certain amount of people could throw off the scent of Jason's trail. The teen from Missouri City went missing while en route to Siena. His Altima was found on December 13th just outside of Luling. It had been crashed and abandoned on the road. Luling is about 30 minutes away from San Marcos, where Texas State University is located. Family told ABC 13 that officials drained a pond that they believed could have clues to Jason's disappearance,
so he made
but
it
have
to this
not
town.
found anything just yet.
He was found like right up in this area somewhere on this road. They haven't found him yet though.
Introducing new extra.
So that was just an update from yesterday. Not really much of an update. It's just an update saying, hey, there's no progress. Okay, now there is an update on this one. Remember this case of Shane Rollman? All right, I'll show you. This is the one where there was a rest stop and we figured out exactly where the car was parked and everything. Apparently, you know, we had all the different ping information, and then we finally worked it out. I said that he's probably going to be, you know, they probably find him back here in a ravine, but then I thought, well, gosh, wouldn't they have already looked there? Well, his body was found, and it was found 2.5 miles from here northwest, so, you know, somewhere around here. And let's get that out. Human remains found in Yavapai County, identified as missing California man. Because it kind of seemed like maybe he did something to himself, remember? The Yavapai County medical examiner was confirmed the remains found on January 1st are that of 31-year-old Shane Rollman of West Covina, California. Rollman was reported missing to the West Covina Police Department in California on September 12th. His abandoned vehicle was found by Arizona Department of Public Safety troopers on September 23rd at the McGuireville rest stop off Interstate 17. On January 1st, a hiker reported finding Rollman's remains near Dry Beaver Creek in a small wash about 2 miles northwest of McGuireville rest area. So I guess this article's from January 8th. We just hadn't heard about it yet. And I think we sort of settled on that maybe he killed himself. Maybe not settled on it, but it seemed like an option. But it's also kind of weird still, you know, so we'll have to wait and see what the autopsy says on this one. So he may not have killed himself.
Surrounding his disappearance are definitely suspicious. Now the FBI is on the case.
This is from
Kiko Nicole Comstock spoke
2
to
months
Shane
ago.
Rollman's mother, who is making a desperate plea tonight to help in finding her son.
Shane Rollman's mother says he told her he had a headache back in...
See, here's the thing is, if they didn't find his body, I remember the conversation was, if they didn't find his body near where the car was, then somebody else dropped the car off there. Okay, but now we have the story where, you know, he is found near there. So it makes it seem a little more likely that he did something to himself, but it seems really odd. I remember there was aspects of the case that was talking about, like he was depressed and things like that.
In September, but when she went over to his house to check on him, he was gone.
Yeah, he's still
You
missing.
see the missing persons, but to me, he's a missing son. He's my son, and I want him back.
Shane Rollman
This
has been
is
missing from his
original
home in West
stories here.
Covina for over 2 months now.
One of the funniest, kindest people you could ever meet.
The FBI is now investigating the 31-year-old sales rep and actor's disappearance after his white BMW was found across state lines, 450 miles away at the McGuireville rest area in Rimrock, Arizona. That was about 2 weeks after he went missing.
And he had no gas in the car, so we didn't know if somebody gave him a ride or he was kidnapped.
That part was a little
Shane's
weird.
mother, Sherry, says she found his cell phone and computer in the back seat, that his car looked immaculate, too clean for someone who had traveled such a long distance. And right around the time he went missing, $700 was withdrawn from his bank.
See, that part's weird. The $700 withdrawn from his... Remember that? I mean, where would he have spent all that?
Account at an ATM that didn't have a security camera. His debit card hasn't been used since.
I don't know if somebody...
It's almost like somebody forced him to withdraw $700, drove him there, took him out, and then shot him. And then maybe, I don't know where that person went. They must have had somebody that followed them. Maybe they even siphoned the gas out to make it look like it ran out of gas there. I don't know. But we don't know. Well, okay. All right. Anyways, that is it for that. They do found a body. Let's wait and see what the autopsy says. All right. Of course, he's probably so decomposed at this point, although it is winter time, so that may have preserved him a little bit. But he went missing in September, which is late summer. So his body would be very decomposed, and it'd be hard to, unless there's a bullet wound or he'd been stabbed, where you can see actually the serration on bone. But if they stabbed in the soft tissue, you probably wouldn't be able to tell at this point. Like if you stabbed underneath the rib cage up into a heart or something but didn't touch bone, you wouldn't be able to tell if he was strangled. Sometimes the hyoid bone is broken, sometimes it's not, you know. So there's a lot of things you might not know, but however he was found, that might give a clue to what happened. So there you go. All right, now we've got one on the story right here that came out. You know what's weird? This guy here looks so freaking familiar. Isn't there another case with a guy that looks exactly like this? I know this isn't deja vu. I know that there's a case where there's a guy that looks just like this guy. Like an absolute twin of this Brian Tolentino. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that guy? What are you talking about? Yeah, you see this guy right here? He looks exactly like somebody else in some other case somewhere. Oh man, I've seen that guy's face before. Or, you know, a face that looked just like that. Oh, you guys don't remember? Okay. So this is in Lake County, Florida. Investigators said they found what appeared to be a religious shrine made of various human remains while investigating two men accused of breaking into graves at Lake County Cemetery last month. Lake County detectives said Brian Montalvo Talentino, 43, confessed to breaking into the graves after being linked to DNA found on the scene at Edgewood Cemetery, and including cigars. He probably never thought somebody would check a cigar. Deputies said Tolentino of Davenport told them, yeah, I already had all this information, Susanna. I've had this for a couple days. Not this article, but there's actually, well, this is from January 7th. I have the press conference, and guess who that's with? Grady Judd, everybody. So we'll get to check that out. So let's see what Grady Judd has to say. He's always a better explanator. Here we go. Oh, guess what? Got to fix the audio hardware yet again.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with me today. I'm going to brief you this afternoon about a horrible, tragic event that occurred in Lake County, and we assisted the Lake County Sheriff's Office. In fact, they did a remarkably good job. 4 graves were robbed on December the 5th in the Edgewood Cemetery in Mount Dora, and this is predominantly an African-American cemetery. The Lake County Sheriff's Office was called to investigate, and they obtained DNA. And they obtained DNA specifically from a cigar. And we're going to explain that in greater detail in just a minute. So when the DNA came back, they ran it through CODIS, and it led them to Brian Tolentino. Brian Tolentino is 43 years of age, and he drives a truck for a living. Well, upon investigation, Brian Tolentino led them to Juan Lopez. Juan Lopez is 29 years of age, and he owns the Buc-ee Karate Center and after-school child care program on Dundee Road in the area of Winter Haven. So they were working this robbery of a grave, and subsequent to figuring out that Brian lived in Davenport and Juan lived in the Lake Wells area, we were led to an address of 5170 Timber Lane Drive in Lake Wells. We served a search warrant there. at a house. We serve lots of search warrants. But for the first time that I'm aware of, what we found was a Palo Mayombe shrine. When we arrived there with our search warrant and went into the room, we found this very ornate shrine, and you can see the pictures of it there. There were 7 skulls in this, if you will, shrine. Of the 7 skulls, we determined 5 of them were human skulls. 2 of them were plaster replicas. Now keep in mind, when the graves were robbed, there were 4 graves that were robbed. There were 4 skulls taken. We still have not identified, and the Lake County Sheriff's Office, and we're assisting them, is working to try to identify where the 5th skull came from. In addition to that, we found an alligator head, a baby alligator that was deceased. We found goat heads, goat skulls, chicken bones, raccoon skulls, and many other different artifacts, religious artifacts. So we got to researching. We talked to Juan and Brian, and they both confessed. And I'll tell you what they did in just a second. But our research shows us that the Palo Mayombe religion is a religion that's solitary, a solitary religion with no house of worship. Our research further told us that this is a black magic art that needs body parts in order to worship, and they prefer to have skulls. Palo Mayombe is reported to be the evil twin sister of the Santeria religion. So when Brian and Juan confessed, here's what they told us. They said that the spirits had led them to the cemetery. And once the spirits led them to the cemetery, there is an interesting thing that occurs. We said, well, how did you end up with those graves? And they said, well, the spirits led us to those graves. But before they could remove the skulls and the body parts from the grave, they had to perform a ritual, a ceremony. And they did. They would drink Bacardi rum and spit it out on the ground. And then they would smoke a cigar and exhale the smoke. And the purpose of that was to protect them from the spirits.
Don't you think he's going to have one of his little awesome comments, those one-liners, you know? He's got to have something in this one. Just has to. Yeah, I know I've seen that guy. Or I've seen a clone of whoever that other guy criminal is. Or he's committed another crime before.
And then they broke open these graves. Once they broke open the graves, they started to remove the remains. When they would remove the skulls and the remains, then they would put orange peels back in the cemetery. And the reason they did that was so that the spirits would not leave the skull and go back into the grave.
Oh, clever, clever.
So that was to prevent the spirits from leaving the skull.
I can definitely see that working.
They said it was their preference that they have the graves of heroes. And that's exactly what the spirits led them to. And when asked about why a hero's grave, they said because the spirit is much stronger in a hero than it is a normal person. And also, when you have the skull of a hero, the spirit is not only stronger, but it can protect you from evil. So let me stop, now that you know how they robbed the graves and the fact that they robbed the graves and the fact that they disturbed these heroes, to tell you that 3 of the 4 graves were veterans of the military. They, in fact, were heroes. One was Calvin McNair. He was born in 1935. He passed in 1992. He was a Marine. He was buried in his Marine dress blues. He was a police officer, and he was a police officer in Anasta, Connecticut. They took his skull. If that just doesn't make your blood boil, I don't know what does.
Yes.
A hero, a Marine,
Wow.
who was laid to rest in his military blues, a police officer, someone who had served and protected. They took his...
Yeah. You know the stuff that I've talked about before? Like if you're somebody, you had a party and, you know, you're doing drugs and your friend at the party was sitting there and they did a couple hits of coke or something and it killed him. And your first thought was to, either soak them in some acid and or cut off their arms and throw the body parts all around the city, sealed in plastic bags because you didn't want to get in trouble. Well, you should probably serve 20, 30 years in prison because you're a freaking monster. Well, I think these guys are in that same ballpark. That you would actually go to a grave of anybody, and then, but a hero makes it even worse. Just because they did so much for us. And you literally break their grave open and take their skull out, and man, you should be literally put in prison for a long, long time, because you're psycho, and people like that are the kinds of people who kill people because they're crazy, anybody that has the ability to do that, just think about, I'm going to go to a grave, we're going to break into it, and we'll dig in there, and we'll grab some skulls and all kinds of things. Wow.
Skull. And then there was Elbert Carr. He was born in 1896, the same year my grandmother was. And he passed in 1988. Elbert was a sergeant in the Army, and he served during World War I. He was a hero. They took his skull. And then the third veteran was Henry Britton. He was born in 1929 and he passed in 1983. He was an Army hero. He served in Korea. They took his skull. The fourth lady was not in the military. Annie Fennell, she was born in 1935 and passed in 1998. But she was a caretaker of seniors and those that were infirmed in life. She had a servant's heart. They took her skull, her arm, and her hand. As I said earlier, our fifth victim is unknown. So let me introduce you to the religious leader, Juan Lopez. I've already told you that he confessed. I've already told you that he runs an after-school daycare and a karate center. He has no criminal history. But Juan used to be also a police officer in Puerto Rico. And he said that he resigned because the agency was corrupt. But he's known, his religious leader title is known as Tata. His social media, where he brags or speaks of his religious dealings, he referred to cemeteries as holy sites and shopping centers.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
He considers the cemeteries shopping centers. We didn't say that. He did.
Okay. You know, I think I did hear this. I listened to it, but I was vaguely listening to it. I remember laughing at something. So he does have a one-liner in here, and I think it might have something to do with the shopping. I can't remember.
He complained in the United States that it's difficult in getting human remains to practice his religion. Well, let me tell you, we don't have any skulls laying around in the county jail, and that's where he's going, or that's where he is, if he hasn't made bond.
Well, I guess you could count that as one.
And then there's Brian Tolentino.
Let me tell you, we don't have any skulls laying around in the county jail for you to practice your religion.
He is a practitioner, and he's known as Polaros.
God, he looks so familiar.
He's the one that used the large bar to break open the cemeteries after Juan the Tata performed the religious ceremony at the gravesite late at night or early in the morning in the darkness of December the 5th or 6th. But unlike the Tata, the Polaros has a criminal history for bank robbery when he was in Puerto Rico. He also had cocaine charges and grand theft charges out of Orange County, Orlando. It probably should come as no surprise to you. They dropped those charges. But he robbed graves. Any grave is horrific. But they sought out and intentionally went to the graves of veterans, of heroes, of war heroes that fought for this great country we have today.
There you go.
The investigation's still underway. Obviously, Lake County Sheriff's Office is leading this investigation. We are assisting them, but it's never okay to violate the law in order to practice any religion. And they clearly violated several laws in the state of Florida. Are there any questions?
Have you gotten reaction, or has the Lake County Sheriff's Office gotten reaction from the families of the deceased?
The Lake County Sheriff's Office has been in contact with the families, as I understand, and they are certainly very, very happy that the investigation took them to this point. And once the investigation's over with, the medical examiner obviously will return the remains so that they can be reinterred with the family. Orange peel or no orange peel. Spirits or no spirits.
Are there any other people as part of this religion who may have taken part in this, and are you anticipating more arrests?
There is no one else that we're aware of. Only the two of them were led by the spirits that night to that cemetery, according to them. Now, I can't tell you who all may have worshiped with these different shrines or at this particular shrine with this, but as you can see, it's rather elaborate. And what they will do is people who are worshiping will cut themselves, and then they will drip the blood over these individual containers. And they also have this little disc that while they're performing this religious ceremony, they're not only drip the blood over the disc, over this, but on the disc as well, I understand, and they keep that. I'm not a religious expert in this religion, but I can tell you that it rips my heart out to think that the graves of these veterans, these heroes, were disturbed for the purposes of creating the Palo Shrine.
Sheriff, can you speak to how traumatizing this is for the families? I mean, it's been a month the souls were missing.
I cannot even tell you how traumatizing it is for the family. We see grave robberies periodically, and nothing's ever the same for the family after that. Most of the times, we never find the remains so we can return them. The blessing is because of the great work by the detectives for the Lake County Sheriff's Office, they completely did their crime scene work and were able to get DNA, and that led us to Brian, actually. Led us to Brian because he was the one with a criminal record, and Brian led us
So I know,
to the
maybe I've seen that
religious
guy.
or spiritual
Got a criminal
leader
record,
Juan.
see? Yeah.
But once again, that's how great DNA is, and that's what happens when you have a criminal record
Maybe I have
of
seen it.
bank robbery. We keep your DNA hanging around for a while.
Is there any evidence that they may have struck any other cemeteries?
Yes, because we have one unidentified skull or body part at this time, so we know of at least one other. I don't know, because I don't understand the depth of this religion at all, whether or not at some point in time they discard the skulls or if they keep them in perpetuity for religious purposes. But obviously he complained about, one, it's very hard to get them in the United States, and two, cemeteries are shopping centers. Did you hear that? Juan said on a YouTube video that cemeteries were holy sites and a shopping center. Well, let's call the county jail the checkout line to the shopping center.
We know one person, at least one person in Tampa Bay whose loved one's skull.
Because there's a lot of weird religions out there. They claim, like witches claim that they're religious. That's why he's saying that.
What, should people reach out to the police?
Lake County Sheriff's Office will be working with the medical examiner's office. They will take DNA from that skull, and then they'll take DNA from family members, and they'll make attempts to match it.
So they can come forward?
Absolutely, they need to come forward, because we want to, one of the most sacred things we can do is to respect our loved ones that have passed on, and to make sure that they're safe and secure as their body is interred in the grave. And so the good news is we can reinter the complete graves of 4, and we want to for the 5th as soon as we find out who they are. The bad news is they should have never been disturbed to begin with. Look at this. Look at this mess that they left at people's gravesite. This is despicable. You can't condemn this in tough enough words. Setting the religious views aside, because I'm not going to attack anyone's religion, their conduct here is reprehensible in the strongest terms. Any questions? Any more questions? Thank you very much. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll see you when the next set of criminals do something just really, really stupid.
See, that's totally right there. There he is. Yeah, well, I can't remember what it was. I thought he made a line in here about checkout line, like when you're checking out at a counter. I can't remember. I might have missed that, but that was his main line when he said something about they're the cashier and something. I can't remember when he said that. But yeah, anything can be religion. Yeah. We're stupid. Yeah. What's not your cup of tea, Brianna? The guy that was just talking, that's not your cup of tea? What are you talking about? Or that type of religion? Well, yeah, I don't think anybody thinks that's their cup of tea for a religion. Well, yeah, I mean, you probably could have used a different sentence than that. Doesn't really work. It's almost like, well, you'd think about it, but it's just not your cup of tea. It's minimizing it. Okay, I'm going to move on. But for those of you who want to help out the channel, hit the like button. Hit the or dislike, whatever one suits your fancy. Subscribe to the channel. Also, every month we donate to charity at the end of the month. So if you'd like to support the channel with the super chats or PayPal or anything like that, that'd be great. You know what's always weird is that it's the lulls. You know, when you have these lulls in time, that's where it gets discouraging. It's like, was that not interesting or something? What I was just talking about. That's what pops into my head. God, I can't find the part where I remember he said a one-liner that was great. It was like about shopping or something. All right, so now I'm going to go over these. Yeah, let's see. Maybe I'll do the shortest one first. Yeah, some of these cases in Texas from a long time ago. Whose birthday was it, by the way? Like the other night, but we were late. It was during the Delphi show. Do you guys remember who that was? Hey, thanks, Susanna MacGilla or Gilla Podrick. That was close. Oh, really? Huh. Wonder, maybe you're not really signed in to Google, Lee D. Try signing out of Google and back in. See what happens. Well, yeah, we know. We sang to Juju Positive. I'm talking about... There was somebody that came in and said it was her birthday, but... Okay, but I was talking about yesterday. Jesus. Oh, yeah. Well, she said the same thing the other day. Susanna did. She took money from her. It's like the Tooth Fairy money. It's a joke. Okay. I'm going back in time. This is a, well, this is only from 2006. Case here. I haven't mapped any of it out or anything like that, so we might have to. Let me set this up right though. Let's see what's today. Today's the 11th. One of these is pretty long, so. All right. What happened? Nah, I can't remember the joke. You'd have to go rewatch it. He said something about... No, that's it. Yeah, that was the one what Trudy said. That was his big line when he said, "If graveyards are shopping centers, consider my jail your checkout line." Yeah, that's just so awesome, man. Grady Judd. Yep, that was it. That was the line I didn't hear this time because I was in the kitchen, but have it playing on audio. You know, I have a speaker, but I just didn't hear it. because as soon as if I walk away, I can turn down my mic, and then I have a speaker that plays the audio. Yeah. All right, you ready? Ready, Susanna? We're going to move on to this case here. We're not going to keep talking about the witch doctors, all right? All right, here we go. Austin, and this is in the Austin American Statesman here. This is 2007, February 3rd. A local teen who's been missing since July will be featured on the television show America's Most Wanted tonight, according to the teen's family. Family members said a show official told them that a picture of Roxanne, what do you think that is, like Paltauf, 19, would be shown during the 4th commercial break of the broadcast. The show airs tonight at 8 on Fox. Bonnie Block, a spokeswoman for the family, said Paltauf was last seen around 9 p.m. July 8th at a budget inn in North Austin. Police say Paltauf, well, let's see how many of those there are. Let's go to Austin, Texas, and so Austin's pretty big, but let's see, budget inn. Well, there's only one, so that makes that easy. There you go. So here we go, the budget in. Unless there was another one that's not there. This is 2007. No charges have been filed in the disappearance block said. If anyone has information about where to find Paltauf, they can call the show's hotline. Okay, great. So that was the first article that I could find. And then, I mean, 5 months later, actually not even, no, that was the only article I could find from back then. And then 4 years later, we have this article. So maybe this one will have a breakdown in it. For the past 5 years, whenever Elizabeth Harris received news of a body being found in Austin, she has asked herself if that is Roxanne. 5 years ago, Thursday, Harris' daughter, Roxanne Paltauf, disappeared in the area near East Runberg Lane. Let's see where that is. Maybe this isn't the right spot. Let's see. East Rundberg Lane. Oh, and I-35. Oh yeah, I think we're close. If this is I-35 and that's East Runberg, and so now I'm almost positive that's the budget. So because it's right here in this area, and that's definitely in that area. So okay, so now we can go down to Street View and feel confident that that's the budget inn that apparently she was at. Is it still a budget inn now, though? Huh, looks like it's something else. No, it says budget inn right there on that sign. So if I'm right there, does it still say that? Oh yeah. God, what a dive. Jesus. Looked like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, that's an actual hotel there? Yikes. I guess that's why it says budget. No arrests have been made in the case, which handed off in February to cold case police detectives who are renewing the investigation. Harris and her family have never given up searching for Paltauf this week. They put up more flyers and posters in the area where she was last seen. We just want the public to know We're still trying to find her. On Thursday afternoon, they gathered at a billboard on Airport Boulevard that features Paltauf's face and a number for anyone's tip line that goes to private investigators. They also released a balloon in her honor. Paltauf was 18 when she disappeared. She was last seen by her on and off again boyfriend, Lewis Walls, about 8:30 p.m. on July 7, 2006. Harris and police officials, that's what they said. Okay. The couple had been staying together at the Budget Inn near East Runberg Lane and I-35. Detective Richard Faithful, who investigates cold cases, said Walls told police the two had an argument. Oh boy. And that she left the hotel without any of her personal property. You know what? I used to always think, oh boy, the boyfriend had something to do with it. But in this case, I don't know. And now we know that there's all kinds of cases where they get in an argument, the girl stomps off and ends up getting killed by a serial killer. You know, some wacko that just happened to be driving by. So now I don't immediately think that it's the boyfriend or the husband in these cases like this. In a 2009 Austin Chronicle story, Walls was described as having prior convictions for burglary and selling fake crack cocaine. You know, one thing I could say is maybe there wasn't a fight, but somebody came and was sort of, it was like payback time, took the girl, but he didn't want to snitch because he knows he'd be killed if he's into drugs like that. According to court records cited in the Chronicle, Walls threatened another girl's... Wait, let's see. So, where are we at here? Detective... Walls told police the two had an argument. So that Walls is the boyfriend. According to court records cited in the Chronicle, Walls threatened another girlfriend by saying he would kill her like he killed her. Well, now that does sort of make it seem like he has something to do with it now. Like he killed her, like he killed Paltauf. I truly believe he has information he hasn't come forward with, Harris said. Faithful said investigators have spoken with Walls many times, but have been unable to either eliminate him as a suspect or implicate him in Paltauf's disappearance. Huh? What are you guys talking about? He was selling fake crack cocaine. So it wasn't really crack cocaine. I'm not sure what's funny about that. Faithful said that before she disappeared, Paltauf kept in constant contact with her mother and siblings. He described her as being street smart and tough, the kind of person who would find a way to reach her family. She would never go 5 years without letting them know she was okay. Paltauf is the eldest of 5 children. Roxanne had a lot of charisma about her. Since her disappearance, Paltauf's case has been featured on television shows such as America's Most Wanted and Discovery Channel Disappeared, so that would be like IDTV. Paltauf is described as being 5'4", 124 pounds, with green eyes and brown hair. Alright, that was 2011 article. This is 2014. Police and FBI investigators Thursday searched a lot in North Austin for the remains of Roxanne Paltauf, last seen on July 2006 at a nearby motel. A cadaver dog had alerted police to the possible presence of human remains there on 2 previous occasions. Authorities identified 2 areas to excavate. Nothing was found in the lot at 300 East Runberg Lane. Let's see where that is. Yeah, so somewhere in this field here. Search. So pretty close to there. Nah, I doubt it. I wonder if aliens abducted him. What do you think about that, Zozo? Is it possible that aliens came to the hotel and abducted her? Somehow? I mean, I wonder if that's possible. Yeah. Huh. Because I really think that it's even less likely that they sold fake crack cocaine and it killed somebody and they were coming back for payback. All right, so then we're moving on to 2017 here. Missing woman's family's resolute. I don't have page 2 of this, but well, let me move to the one of these articles right here. This is from 2019 right here. Sunday, July 7th marks the 13th anniversary of Roxanne Paltauf's disappearance, and her family is grappling with new information about the case. Earlier this year, Paltauf's sister, Rosalind Schultz, who was just 15 when Paltauf, then 18, went missing, discovered airtime. What does that mean? Airtime charges on Paltauf's phone bill from the night of her disappearance. Discovered airtime charges. Huh. This changes everything, Schultz told the Chronicle. On July 7, 2006, Paltauf was with boyfriend Louis Walls, then 30, who told her family and later Austin police the two got into an argument at a budget inn near I-35 and Runberg, after which Paltauf walked out to cool off without her phone, purse, or money and never returned. Walls didn't hand over Paltauf's possessions until July 12th, so that was 5 days later, that's the boyfriend, and made hundreds of calls from her phone during that time. Having evaded numerous APD interview attempts, he remains a suspect in what is now presumed to be a homicide. Family continues to investigate her disappearance, which is how Schultz ended up with her sister's phone records and noticed a handful of unexplainable charges that could only be roaming charges from the night of Paltauf's disappearance. Well, you usually get those roaming charges when you're out of your. I mean, that makes it seem like her body was put somewhere else if he is involved. The records reviewed by the Chronicle showed approximately 48 phone calls made from Paltauf's phone on July 7th, including the potential roaming charges for 12 calls between 6:44 and 8:42 p.m., the time period during which Paltauf left the hotel, according to Walls. In May, APD Detective Jamie Harville filed a warrant with T-Mobile, noting in his affidavit that no historical data has ever been legally requested. Yeah, that sucks. Man, they could have pinged her phone. A week ago, Harville relayed to Schultz that as of now, the phone company has only shared the subscriber's information, but the investigation into the airtime charges is ongoing. And this is her on the Charlie Project. She's got like 40 different looks. Look at that. I mean, that's... Every one of these is very vastly different. You know, this one and this one are mildly close, but... Paltauf was last seen at approximately 8:30 p.m. on July 7, 2006 at Budget Inn Hotel in the vicinity of Interstate 35 and Runberg in Austin, Texas. She had checked into the hotel with her boyfriend, Louis Walls. She planned to spend a few days with him, but Walls said they got into an argument, and she left angrily, carrying only her identification. Walls stated he tried to follow her, but she told him to leave her alone, so he went back to their room. Approximately 20 minutes later, he went looking for her again. Well, one thing you might say is he may have used her phone to try to call her friends, thinking that she went to one of her own friend's house. So that's a possibility, right? Because I really can't think of a reason. If he has a phone, why would he be using her phone to do anything? And he's making calls. So he could have called to tons and tons of different people to try to figure out where she was. I mean, I don't know. Approximately 20 minutes later, he went looking for her again, but could not find her. She has never been heard from again. Walls called her mother the following day, and her mother reported her disappearance to police. By the time the police got involved, Walls had already checked out of the hotel and gone to his sister's home, taking Paltauf's belongings with him, so any possible evidence in the hotel room was destroyed. Paltauf left behind all her personal belongings, including her clothing, shoes, purse, wallet, jewelry, and cellular phone, which is uncharacteristic of her. Her boyfriend returned the cellular phone to her family on July 12th. Over 300 calls were placed on in between July 8th and July 12th. Many of them were to Walls' ex-girlfriend in New Mexico. Well, that's weird, because now you're using her phone to call her. Walls has a criminal record. Or I don't know if that's what they said. Let's see. Return. Over 300 calls were placed. They should have said by whose phone. Walls has a criminal record that dates back to 1995. Paltauf's mother didn't approve of Walls, and Walls' mother didn't approve of Paltauf's, so the couple would usually go out to be together. Her friends also disliked Walls, who initially lied to Paltauf about his age. He told her he was 19 years old when they started dating, when he was in fact 25. They had been together for 2 years by the time Paltauf vanished. Wow, so he was 23 and she was 16 then, right? Curiously, Paltauf's state of Texas identification card turned up in the wallet of another man, Jeffrey Moore, who was accused of attacking an exotic dancer and trying to rape her. Wow. That's kind of weird. He has a history of threatening other girlfriends. So this is back to Walls. So in this case it says, one of Paltauf's friends stated she said Walls had hit her, seriously damaging her nose. He has a history of threatening other girlfriends, and at least 2 of them took out a protection order against him. Walls has never been charged in connection with Paltauf's disappearance. Curiously, Paltauf's state of Texas identification card turned up in the wallet of another man, Jeffrey Moore, who was accused of attacking an exotic dancer and trying to rape her. The incident took place on July 13th, 6 days after Paltauf's disappearance, at a Motel 6, not far from the Budget Inn. She disappeared. I mean, this guy has to be involved then, because remember, she only left with her ID card. Who was accused of attacking an exotic dancer and trying to rape her. The incident took place on July 13th, 6 days. So in this guy, Jeffrey Moore's wallet, they found Paltauf's ID, and this guy attacked an exotic dancer and had her ID. You know, I guess it's possible that the ID, you know, he just picked it up off the ground. I don't know. Let's see what it says right here. Charges against Moore were later dropped for lack of evidence, but although police spoke to him about Paltauf, it isn't clear how he came to possess her identification. Both Moore and Walls are considered persons of interest. Well, I'd put him at the top of the list at this point. Paltauf's family describes her as a responsible teenager, or hell, maybe they're both involved somehow. Yeah. Man, we started off so good with the wave, and then it made this sound effects. Watch. Here we go. Here we go. Let me do the sound effect for what it's like right now. Yep. Crash and burn. Yeah, I know. And then all of a sudden it just went. Yeah. Alright, so that's all we got on that case right there. It sounds like they're on the right track. Maybe somebody will just have to say something. And then I've got another one here that's from 2010. This is in Texas as well. New wave attempt. Nice try, Kevin. Nice try. Thanks, though, buddy. Hey, I'm just looking out for the charities, my channel, and there we go. Because this month we're going to add we're not going to be able to give as much to a charity.
New wave attempt.
We have to put more into the pool for the DNA research. We have 1,000 in there already, so that's where we're at. Family discusses search on TV. A Central Texas family took its search for a missing mother to the Dr. Phil show Friday after a series of failed efforts to find the woman after she disappeared in late March. Julianne Gonzalez, 21, went missing from Austin on March 26, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety's Missing Persons Clearinghouse database. Family and friends have said Gonzalez disappeared before she was due for a shift at a Walgreens store. Let's see if we can get that. Hey, thanks, Chris Stone. Let's see. Walgreens in, I think this is Austin again. So. There's a bunch of them. And they said it was on East Riverside Drive. Okay.
Wave pool.
Awesome. Is there another page? Ah, shit. Oh, there you go. Hey, thanks. Cowgirl up. Yes, that does help. Thank you. I mean, it's weird. I've sort of taken on this responsibility where I gotta, always mention it now, or we won't be able to do it.
Hope this helps a little, XO.
Because at the beginning of last year, we weren't raising very much. And so at the end of the year, we donated $22,000. But if you remember, we were donating $25,000. I'm going to try to do $2,000 a month for 12 months, and that would be $24,000. Okay? If we can still do 25, then boom, I mean, we're up at some ridiculous number at that point. We would be donating, what is that, 5, 6... almost like close to 30, right? I don't know if that's possible, but you guys are that's it, man. It's all on you guys. And I just do the shows, right? I don't know where that the Walgreens. Let me see where. Okay, let's do this one more time here. So it's on East Riverside Drive. Okay, so East Riverside Drive is way down here. So let me just put a pin there for a moment. And then do Walgreens again. There we go. There's only one. It's right there. See how that works? And now we know that that one... Yeah, there it is. East Riverside Drive right there. Boom. Okay. Got it. Awesome police have said that they did not suspect any foul play, but that she is still considered a missing person. Family and friends said Gonzalez was divorcing her husband. Well, that's an absolute red flag right there. Okay. So here, let me go back up to here. So she was supposed to show up to she disappeared before her shift at the Walgreens on East Riverside Drive. Her husband's vehicle, her abandoned vehicle was found at another Walgreens store. Wow, really? Jesus. Okay, now let's go to South 1st Street. Okay. So we've got South 1st Street. And now we'll say Walgreens in Austin again. Oh, Jesus. Look at that thing. That was right on top of the pin right there. That's funny. And so this is the Walgreens on South 1st Street. Crazy, huh? So let's see what the difference is. Yeah, so this is one where she works. She never made it there, but her car was found at this one. I wonder why somebody would do that. But if she disappeared before going to Walgreens, then it would have to be somebody necessarily that knew she worked at a Walgreens to have parked it at another Walgreens. You get what I'm saying? So if she disappeared before making it to Walgreens, and then her car is found at another Walgreens, that means that person knows that she works at a Walgreens. So it's somebody that knows her. I think that kind of proves that part of it. I mean, what are the odds? Oh, wow. It was just some random killer, and he put her car at a Walgreens. I mean, there are a lot of Walgreens there, but to me it seems like it indicates that she knew the person. No, he might have known which one. He just wanted to throw people off and put it at another Walgreens. Gonzalez's family and friends have posted flyers, launched websites, appeared on CNN, held benefits, and hired a private investigator to locate her. They told the Statesman that Gonzalez said on a website that she was leaving to be on her own, but they said they suspect... Let's see. They told the Statesman that Gonzalez said on a website, I bet you the boyfriend did that she was leaving to be on her own, but they said they suspect someone else. Oh, there you go. Someone else made the post. On the show, family and Gonzalez's husband spoke to the host, Phil McGraw, for an episode called Runaway Moms. Isn't that the Phil Donahue show? Anyways, I'll be back in a minute. Well, there's tons of cases like Cheryl Coker where the husband kills the wife. You know, Melissa Pesky. Somebody in the Melissa Pesky case reached out to me, though. They said that the family members all appreciated the coverage that I was doing. Maybe I'll be able to interview with one of them one of these days. Yeah, he probably didn't call himself, because I saw the pictures. It looked like Dr. Phil. Okay, so here we go. Husband, this is 3 months later. Husband is person of interest. After Julie Ann Gonzalez, a 21-year-old mother of 2-year-old daughter, disappeared in late March, her family launched a campaign to find her. They posted her name and photo on billboards and flyers. They set up websites, appeared on CNN, held benefits, and hired a private investigator. They even appeared on a Dr. Phil TV episode titled Runaway Moms to draw attention to her disappearance. Meanwhile, police initially thought her disappearance was voluntary based on text messages that appeared to be sent to her family and friends from her cell phone. Messages posted on her personal website said that she had left to be on her own, but documents recently released when a court order keeping them sealed expired suggests that Austin police have been investigating whether her estranged husband, I've seen this guy before, I think I've even seen part of this interview, investigating whether her estranged husband, whom she was divorcing, might have killed her. Officially, police have named George De La Cruz, 22, as a person of interest. A May 14th police search warrant affidavit says Gonzalez may have been the victim of a homicide or abduction. A search warrant affidavit from late May says that De La Cruz might have committed the offense of murder. De La Cruz, who did not return a message left on his home phone and whose lawyer did not return a call for comment, had not been charged with a crime, according to police. De La Cruz has been interviewed in the past, but is no longer cooperating with the investigation. His and Gonzalez's daughter, Layla, Hey, we have a Layla. Well, we don't have a Layla in here, but that's somebody's. Well, Layla, my Layla, watches the show, but that's the name of her dog. Okay. Anyways, Layla is being looked after by De La Cruz's family, according to Sandra Soto Gonzalez's mother. You feel a little relieved that something was found, but at the same time, our hope. Well, let's see, what did they find? Did not return. What did they find? We feel a little relieved that something was found, but at the same time, our hope was to find Julie. What did they find up here? It says Gonzalez may have been the victim of a homicide. Search warrant affidavit from might have committed the offense. De La Cruz, who did not return a message left on the phone, where has not been charged with the crime, according to the has been interviewed. Huh, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Thanks, Kim F. Sharp Harp.
Happy Monday or Tuesday, depending.
Da 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 da. Monday. Right? We're going to sing that one? I put that in the community post. Not me singing, but the... That was a joke. I can sing it better than that. All right. Yep, mamas and papas. They're good shit. No thanks. Let's see. Not sure what they're talking about here. We feel a little relieved that something was found. Well, what was found? The case shifted into a homicide investigation. Oh, here we go. As police discovered clues that suggest a voluntary disappearance was unlikely, officials said. They discovered a love letter from Gonzalez to her boyfriend written on the morning of her disappearance, telling him how happy she was with him. Huh. Also suspicious. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so either he made her write that or he wrote it. Or had some other girl write it for him. I mean, it's just, come on. Also suspicious was the ever-expanding length of time since Gonzalez has last been in touch with her family. Austin police spokesman Corporal Scott Perry said in a statement, police have not called the boyfriend a suspect. While voluntary withdrawal cannot be conclusively eliminated as a possibility, it becomes more unlikely as each day passes. According to the unsealed police search warrant affidavit, Gonzalez and De La Cruz separated in November and were in the process of getting a divorce, and yet she wrote a love letter? Come on, give me a break. When she visited his house in South Austin on March 26th, that's the day she went missing, to pick up their 2-year-old daughter. This sounds a lot like another one that we talked about like a year or so ago. I can't remember the name of it, but he went over to somebody's house with the daughter. Then the husband and his father killed the lady and then buried her out on the property. The pair shared custody, and the girl had spent the previous few days at her father's house, the documents say. Cooper said that Gonzalez and De La Cruz had a little bit of a volatile relationship. He was not wanting to get out of the marriage, and she was. Yeah, so that absolutely points to him. De La Cruz said that Gonzalez asked him to take care of their daughter for a few more days. She was leaving, and that he agreed, according to the document. Wow, he's so amenable. Man, what a great guy, you know. He told police she left about 11 a.m., that he did not know where she was going, and that he had no further contact with her. The next day, Gonzalez was reported missing by Cooper, and on March 28th, her car, a 2006 four-door Chevrolet Impala, was found. So that was 2 days after she went missing. Her Impala was found in a Walgreens parking lot in South Austin near De La Cruz's home. Oh, Jesus. Man, really? Okay. So this is March. Walgreens. March 28th, 2007. Right. I mean 2010, excuse me. Yeah, and then apparently he lived around here. Yeah, I should try to see. He's not that old though. I don't know if he'd show up in here. Let me try just really quick. George De La Cruz. Okay. Okay, so if that was 2010, he'd be about 33 right now, right? Does that make sense? He'd be about 33 because he was 22. Yeah, so that one looks like it. He was 22, right, at the time? Yeah, George De La Cruz, 22. And so that was, this article was, no wait, that article was, yeah, 2010. So right now he'd be about 33. Okay. And here's an Austin address. And this says, let's just see if this comes anywhere near here, then that's probably going to be it. No. This one is here. So that's not near there. And that's actually the only Austin address that was there. Oh well, I didn't see it in this, you know, it's just kind of a simple online search deal. Wanted to see where he lived. Alright, so they found her car in the parking lot in South Austin near De La Cruz's home. In May, De La Cruz's mother, who lives at the same address, showed police a large hole that had been dug underneath the wooden floor of a large storage shed in the backyard, according to police documents. She said she discovered it in May. So that would have been 2 months later. Oh, you wonder if she was there and then he moved her after the heat was off of her. Oh boy. And that it was not there when her ex-husband built the shed. So it's almost like he dug the hole, put her body in there. Now this is like that other case that we covered a while ago. Remember that guy? It was like somebody he was interested in, I think, and then he buried her in his own backyard. And it took a long time. Remember, police found a dog's bones first, and then they ended up finding her in there. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking that he had her body there, and then he dug her back out later, and then moved her. And hopefully he was stupid enough. I wonder if they tracked his cell phone movements from May. Well, you'd have to track it the entire time after that. Yeah. And then it was not there when her ex-husband built the shed years earlier. Her account of same contradicted her account of same contradicted what De La Cruz told detectives in a previous interview, where he explained that it had been dug by the previous owner for plumbing purposes. Man, I hope they checked in there for any kind of DNA or just anything. Hair. When police executed a search warrant May 14th, they did not find a body according to a return warrant. Yeah, because he probably moved it. It just looks suspicious, said Gary Cobb, an assistant district attorney for Travis County. I hope they didn't just go, oh, well, nobody, and then, did you guys think of what I just said? That maybe she was put there and then moved later when the heat seemed to be off of him. So you might wanted to have checked the hole for any kind of DNA, hair. If there was one strand of hair from Julie Ann Gonzalez, then she was there. She was buried in there. Police did discover 2 cell phones, however, and they have sought access to Gonzalez's social media accounts from Yahoo, Facebook, and MySpace, according to police documents, suggesting that they are investigating the origin of web posting and text messages. Detectives learned that on March 26th, that day, the day she went missing, at 2:20 p.m., purchases had been made with Gonzalez's Visa Bank debit card at a local Walmart. See, because she had never made it to work, so somebody's already using her card. Video footage from a bank oh man, how come this guy isn't arrested yet? Video footage from a bank inside the store appears to show De La Cruz pushing his daughter in a shopping cart at 2:21 p.m. So you used her credit card. She never even made it to work that day, and you're in there buying stuff. Jesus. With her card. Oh, that's just really obvious. How come he's not arrested? That right there is enough. Well, I wonder if he had an explanation. Oh, well, we shared cards all the time, even though we're getting a divorce. But see, you notice the letter she wrote? She really wanted to get back together with me again. She wrote me this beautiful love letter, and then she handed me the debit card and said, "Go wild today. I'm taking off forever, though." No other purchases have been made with the debit card, and outgoing cell phone activity on her phone has ceased. Gonzalez was gainfully employed and has not returned to work, nor communicated with her employer, according to the police affidavit, said Gonzalez. Might have been the victim of a homicide. Gonzalez was happy with her daughter and current relationship with her boyfriend. Her family says it will continue to search for her. So she was already seeing somebody else. We continue to keep her story alive, let people know we're still working to find her. Wait, hold on. All right, now here's another article here. Custody hearing offers no clue on missing mom. So this is actually this is 2011. Almost a year and a half after young mother Julie Ann Gonzalez disappeared without explanation from South Austin, her family members were at Heman Sweat Travis County Courthouse on Thursday, continuing their quest to find out what happened in the case police believe may be murder. We believe he knows more than he's saying. I don't think we're going to get better information than that last article, though. Let me see if this second page goes into anything. Gonzalez and De La Cruz were divorcing and sharing custody of their daughter when she disappeared. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they had dual custody, he wouldn't have to pay child support, I guess. And then, but he was probably just more pissed off about, if I can't have you, nobody can, and she's already dating somebody else, right? De La Cruz told police that on March 26, 2010, Gonzalez asked him to take care of their daughter for a few more days because she was leaving town. Hey, and by the way, take my debit card. I won't need it on my trip. He told police she left his house on Garden Oaks Drive in South Austin about 11 a.m., that he did not know where she was going, and that he had no further contact with her. Right, but 3.5 hours after she left, you're using her debit card at a store. The next day, Gonzalez was reported missing, and on March 28th, their 2006 four-door Chevrolet Impala was found in a Walgreens parking lot on South 1st Street near De La Cruz's home. So, you know, he was even too lazy to make it more. He was like, okay, yeah, I drove it to a Walmart and walked a block or two to his house. While Gonzalez's family began pointing the finger at De La Cruz, police initially did not suspect foul play in Gonzalez's disappearance, in part because it appeared she had sent text messages to her family and friends and had posted updates online. But a May 17, 2010 search warrant affidavit said police believe De La Cruz committed murder. That affidavit said that De La Cruz's mother showed police a large hole that had been dug underneath the wooden floor of a large storage shed in the backyard. She said she discovered it May 4, 2010, and that it had not been there when her ex-husband built the shed years earlier. I wonder how she knew that there was a hole under the wooden floor. Oh, by the way, if you guys watch that new show called Imposters on Netflix, it's pretty good. I like it. It's funny. It's got a good story and it's funny. And the reason I thought of that was because in the current episodes, the lady found all this money underneath the floorboards in a house. I can't imagine the police not have checking that with a... It's called Imposters. I can't imagine police not checking that hole forensically. You know, either using a dog or... You know, I mean... Isn't that what you do? I mean, or they just... Were they so myopic, you know, or like they're like, oh yeah, you know, hey, there's nobody, see ya. Yeah, they thought that for a long time. They're idiots. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how some of the things that... It's almost like sometimes police just don't want to cover something, so they kind of invent what seems plausible, and they just kind of give up on it, you know. That's ridiculous. Give me a break. Detectives learned that on March 26, at 2:20 p.m., about 3.5 hours after De La Cruz said he last saw Gonzalez, someone had used Gonzalez's Visa Bank debit card. Well, can't they actually find the moment the purchase was made and there's a camera on that register? Video taken inside the store appears to show De La Cruz pushing his daughter in a shopping cart about that time. Well, show the register camera. Soto's lawyer, Ron De La Rosa, said questions about that debit card were among the inquiries he had hoped to ask De La Cruz if he had taken the stand Thursday. We were going to ask him about what happened to Julie. While De La Rosa and one of De La Cruz's lawyers, Sarah Balaparia, worked out the details of their agreement in the courthouse hallway, Soto and De La Cruz sat nearby with their prospective family members on separate benches. She sat and listened carefully to De La Cruz. You look at his demeanor, and he's laughing and he looks like a... I mean, you know, just physically looks something a little A little crazy there, in my opinion. Although you can't really base anything on what somebody looks like. I just think I remember seeing the clips from the Dr. Phil show. Dr. Phil seemed like he was really suspicious. Like he was, if my memory's right on that. Yep, okay. Well, there's that. And the thing is, I've got this huge one right here. I don't know if I want to go into that, though, tonight. It's already been 2 hours. Well, here's what we'll do. I'll save that one for tomorrow, but I'll look up this other one that I've got on my desktop right here. Okay, it's from 1981. No, not this one. Yeah, there we go. So maybe we'll just look this one up together at the same time. Right? Yeah, it's a good show, isn't it? 2 cents. You know, don't say anything about what happened in it, but because I'm still watching it. It's funny, you know. I think it's kind of cool how they, you know, they become sort of like the Mod Squad. All right. I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to use newspapers.com. I know that's everybody's favorite. $1981. Oh, that's the location. Oklahoma. Yeah. 1981. And the case,
yes, that's exactly what they.
And the case of Tracey Neilson. Well, no, I don't want you to tell me. Okay. January. Okay, here we go. So this should be about the first time it's mentioned. Here we go. This is 1981, Oklahoma. Here, I'm going to actually just change that to Oklahoma, you know, just. There we go. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation and law enforcement agencies in Texas have joined city police in search for clues to the death of a University of Oklahoma student found with her throat slashed. Tracey Diane Neilson was found dead on her 21st birthday. Her husband, Jeff Neilson, formerly of Altus, Oklahoma, told police he returned home from Oklahoma University classes late Monday to find the woman lying on their blood-soaked bed. Police said the woman was clothed and had been stabbed several times. A medical examiner said Miss Neilson had been dead from 4 to 6 hours before her husband found her. Miss Neilson was a former Canadian Texas resident. Wow. Canadian Texas. I know somebody who has that exact same thing. I know that's probably a town, but it was just kind of funny. I know somebody out there that's from Canada and lives in Texas. It's really weird. What are the odds? Although that's not what that is. Had been married in Canadian last August. Moore Police Lieutenant Ray Homer said the door to the couple's Moore apartment was unlocked when the woman's husband. Okay, so Miss Neilson. Let me make a folder. I think this one's going to be interesting. So this is so it must be like January 6th or something. Tracey Neilson, 1981, 01-06. Okay, and this is in Moore, Oklahoma. Moore Police Lieutenant Ray Homer said the door to the couple's Moore apartment was unlocked when the woman's husband returned from classes Monday. There were no signs of forced entry and no evidence of a struggle. Police were unsure if the case involved robbery or sexual assault. No weapon had been found, but the Neilson kitchen knives were sent to the medical examiner to be compared with knife wounds the woman suffered. Jeez. Here's a good, the way I do it a lot of times, now that I know it's in January, I'll just go January 1981, and then you just kind of go through each month and try to get everything in order if there's anything new. Alright, so that was, then I go to 8 here. Witnesses have provided a description of a person seen outside an apartment where a woman was stabbed to death, and authorities believe they know what type of knife was used in the slaying. Moore Police Lieutenant Ray Homer said Wednesday investigators were searching for a person witnesses said they saw at the time near the apartment where Tracey Diane Neilson was slain on her 21st birthday, Monday. However, no possible suspects had been identified and no persons were in custody, he said. It is very senseless killing so far, Homer said. It is baffling everybody as to why it occurred. Homer also said a medical examiner had given homicide agents a description of the knife believed used to fatally stab Miss Neilson. We are withholding information on the knife we think was used, but we think we know what kind of knife it was. The weapon had not been recovered and apparently was not a knife already in the apartment. The woman's husband, Jeff Neilson, 21, formerly of Altus, discovered the woman's stabbed body on the couple's blood-soaked bed when he returned from University of Oklahoma classes late Monday. Officials said she had been dead 4 to 6 hours. Miss Neilson, formerly of Canadian Texas, also had been a OU student. She married Neilson in Canadian last August, and the couple moved to Moore apartment complex to attend classes at looks like Oklahoma University. The couple's apartment door was unlocked when Neilson arrived home late Monday. There wasn't any apparent chasing through the house, Homer said. I'm sure there was a struggle at the point of the attack, but there was no furniture knocked over. Homer said robbery had not been ruled out in the slaying, but we're having a difficult time determining if anything is missing. The woman was clothed when found, and a medical examiner report indicated she had not been sexually assaulted. Yeah, those are always the weird ones, you know? I mean, what motivation would somebody have at that point? Yeah, but serial killers, they just kill. There's no rhyme or reason. That's just what they do. In their own mind, there's a reason. Link being investigated for deaths in 2 states. Detectives are investigating the possibility of some connection between the stabbing death this week of a 21-year-old woman and a similar slaying at Amarillo, Texas last year. See, now they're kind of doing the serial killer deal. Agents of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation and more homicide detectives said they had requested information from Amarillo police on the death of Sherry Lynn Welsh, who was stabbed 16 times. Miss Welsh was alone in the lamp store in an Amarillo shopping center when attacked April 9th, 1980. So this is the other person. Officers are, man, my lips wouldn't move right. Let me get a drink of water. There we go. Officers are seeking any possible link between that still unsolved slaying and the death Monday of Tracey Diane Neilson. Miss Neilson's mutilated body was discovered about 5 p.m. Monday by her husband. Okay. Residents in the apartment complex provided a description of a man seen near the Neilsons' apartment. So that's on the 9th. Let's see. So we got the 9th, and looks like the 30th is the next one. More slaying reward fund, nearly $23,000. Okay, so nothing. That's just the reward fund. So let's do February now. All right, so February 14th. I don't know if that's probably her. Yep. It's another reward notice. Oh, wow, this is new here. The body of Miss Neilson, a Canadian native, was discovered in the bedroom of her duplex by her husband, Jeff. Investigators say she had been stabbed more than 20 times and her throat slashed. Police have that's almost like a Jodi Arias type deal, just, he got stabbed 27 times, and throat slashed, but it was a guy. Investigators said she had been stabbed more than 20 times and her throat slashed. Police have determined no motive. Residents of an adjoining duplex said they spotted a dark-haired young man entering the Neilson home about noon on January 5th, about the time police speculate Miss Neilson was killed. So that's somebody that's, got a lot of rage, but a lot of times they're not really raging at the person. The person is a proxy for something else that they hate. The OSBI last month released composite drawings of two men wanted for questioning on the slaying. The Neilsons had been married less than 5 months. We're freezing the reward fund. Yeah, $35,000 it got up to. It's crazy. All right, so we'll make this March now. Nothing. April. And there's one on April 5th. And there's the great sketch there. Boy, oh, I know who that is! God, give me a break. OSBI vigorously pursuing investigation of young Moore housewife's wife death. Exactly 4 months after the stabbing death of 21-year-old Moore housewife Tracey Diane Neilson, law officials Sunday said they are pursuing the baffling case more vigorously than ever. A special war room has been set aside at the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation headquarters at Northeast 36th and Eastern. Inside the room, agents gather daily to compare their latest finds. 5 agents are working the January 5th slaying on a full-time basis, and another 2 men have been assigned as full-time coordinators of all information that is received, said OSBI spokesman Paul Renfro. We're working in a spiral pattern, Renfro said. You start with friends and neighbors, associates, and work your way all the way out to strangers. Many of Miss Neilson's acquaintances have been systematically eliminated as suspects for the time being, including an ex-boyfriend who lived in her hometown Canadian Texas, Renfro said. Yeah, I mean, if it was a young person with dark hair, it could be somebody that knows her. And just was really pissed off that she married somebody else. The investigation has included extensive questioning of her acquaintances in Oklahoma, Texas, and Hawaii for information that might crack what now exists as a motiveless killing. We're working on a million theories right now, the OSBI spokesman said, but they have assured me we haven't run out of suspects. One unidentified man in particular is still being sought. At least 2 people saw a white man described as being about 5'10", 160 pounds, and in his early 30s, standing around near Miss Neilson's apartment complex. Oh, now we've got the address. I was waiting to get that. All right, let's just, everyone take a stab at the dark, and how about we'll just go right there. That's just an absolute stab in the dark, because I can do it. And let's see what it says. The address is... Oh, I was looking at the wrong... Okay. 1104... 1104. Yeah, it's giving me something fun to do anyway. Northwest 10th. Does that make sense? Oh, hey, I was kind of in the right quadrant, you know. The right vertical line. I should get some psychic points for that. What do you think? That's it, Lee D? That was all I got for that incredible guess? 60 cents? Man. It was such a great guess, and my reward -3. Come on, no, that was pretty good. So I guess she lived in this thing right here. I don't know. That probably used to be an apartment complex. It's 40 years ago. Thanks, Lee. Lee D. So's got the top up account. What does that mean? Officials theorize she was slain about midday, the same time the man who was wearing a black nylon waist-length jacket and dark slacks was seen. Man, it sounds like a real villain. Yeah, is that a total Australian phrase right there? What does that mean? Sa's got... Hey, oh, that's it. Sa's got top of account, mate. Sa's got the top up account. Come on, what does it mean? You guys.
You guys are so mean, God. I mean, he just wants to know what you're saying.
Yeah, wow, how rude, right? I mean, don't you think I should just tell them what they're saying?
Well, not really.
Oh.
Wow, you guys are mean. Someone coming forth with information leading to an arrest and conviction. Okay, so that was some new information there. So we go back out. This one's on April 6th. Anything new in this one? Authorities said Sunday they have not rested in their efforts. Same kind of thing, just shortened version. All right, now we'll go to May. 1981, nothing. June, nothing. July. And then after I get through the year, then I start doing by year, because then you know it's really July, August, September, October,
said I can't talk tonight.
That's just not true, Mary Lou.
It is too. Right before the show, you said don't say anything.
I did not. I was just... You guys heard me. I was on the show, right? What the hell's Mary Lou talking about?
Well, you told me off the air before the show started. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I did. That never happened either. I don't have any way to prove it, though.
See?
Oh, God. I hate when you can't prove something. All right, one more. We got October. I mean, December is what I mean. December. Okay, so there's nothing. That was it for 1981. Now we go 1982. Nothing. Now I expand way out. 1983 to 1990. And they did sneak her back in, actually. Looks like a couple times. Let me change this up a little bit. 1984. That wasn't 1984. 1984. Nothing. Okay. 1985. Nothing. 1986. Nothing. 1987. Now I think she starts popping up again. So these are all, let's see, August 30th and the 15th. I don't think that one's related. These are, I think, because it's her name. Two of the last three murders in this city, south of Oklahoma City, remain unsolved. The 1981 mystery centers on Tracey Diane Neilson, who was stabbed to death on January 5th. It was her 21st birthday. Oh, boy. So that does make you... See, they didn't tell us that before. So now we know it was on her 21st birthday. And so now you think, was it somebody who knew it was her birthday? And now I can see why maybe they were looking at a boyfriend from before, somebody that knew that special date, and he came and gave her her birthday present because she left him. Police have determined that sometime between the hours of 11:30 a.m. and 5:15 p.m., someone attacked Neilson in her apartment. Hey, see you later, Zozo. A suspect who was seen near the apartment on the day of the slaying has not been located. Yeah. Wait, what is this? 1209. The 1984 homicide investigation began when police received... That's a different case. Alright. But that's how you find sometimes ones that are related. Alright, 1988. Okay, somebody bring her up in October. Computer aid. On January 5th, 1981, Tracey Diane Neilson celebrated her 21st birthday. The same day, the Moore woman was stabbed to death in her home by an unknown assailant. Her case remains unsolved, but Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation officials on Tuesday said if they had access to a computer fingerprint system, the Neilson case and others might be solved, so they must have found a fingerprint. OSBI Director Ted Lemke announced the OSBI hopes to acquire a $3.5 million computer system that stores electronic images of fingerprints and compares them. Lemke said buying an automated that same system today would be about $1.50. Okay. Lemke said buying an automated fingerprint identification system has become the Bureau's #1 priority. Yeah, let me, I guess that's 1988. 1989. Seems like there was a barrage of articles. That's not her. 1990. Like in 1990. Okay, there was one. I thought I saw that. So this one's a little bit bigger. Oh, they got the fingerprint equipment. Sweet. We worked really close on this. We lost loved one who was murdered years ago, Jerry Neilson, an Altus businessman explained. Their daughter-in-law, Tracey Neilson, was killed January 5th, 1981. So here it is. The Altus Police Chief Jim Hughes joins, no relation, joins Jerry and Shirley Neilson, so this is her parents, at Altus in a visit with State Senator Bob Kerr, or actually her father-in-law, I think, to buy a new fingerprint identification computer for the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. The Neilsons, whose daughter-in-law, Tracey Neilson, was the victim of an unsolved slaying. Well, good for them, you know. Okay, so that's 1990. Now we're going to go to 1991 to 1995. And this here is probably her, since it's at the top. No, and no. So, not. So now it starts getting really scarce. She was in the news for 9 years, but there was a 5-year gap in there. 1996 to 2000. And nope, not there. Now I'm going to do a really big one. 2001 to 2010. Nothing at all. 2011 to 2020. And looks like they did do some stuff on her. 2015. Some stuff obviously came out here. So OSBI Family Hope Evidence Can Help Solve 1981 Case. Trace Diane Neilson was killed January 5th, 1981. Hey, you guys got to see sort of how I have to go through all these over and collect them all. And then I look up other articles. Not a day goes by that Cindy Young doesn't miss her big sister. She was not only my sister, but my best friend and my example. 34 years to the day that Tracey Neilson was stabbed to death in her Moore apartment, Young and her family members still are seeking closure, which doesn't exist. It's been very difficult for my family, especially my parents and Young, who was 18 when Neilson, a 21-year-old University of Oklahoma student, was found dead by, let's see, what page does it start on? 10A. So let's see if that... Yeah, there we go. By her husband of 5 months. Whoever killed Tracey has no idea how many lives they affected. Well, sure they do. They just don't give a shit. Desperate for leads because no match for a fingerprint has been found, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation Director Stan Florence is asking for the public's help. Monday, he held a news conference to reveal a cable repair ticket book he said could breathe new life into the case. Huh. Interesting. A cable repair ticket book. So maybe it was somebody there to fix the cable. The last ticket in the book, Florence said, is for work at Neilson's home the morning she was killed on January 5th, 1981. On the bottom left corner of the book is a box for the employee name with 3 letters written in that box. OSBI had the ticket book for years. Agents were able to display it to the public thanks to a state law that was amended that was hard to read, 2011, to allow agencies to share evidence if it could help solve a case. We want help in identifying those 3 letters, identifying who that person was that wrote in that book, Florence said during the news conference at OSBI headquarters. We think that anyone who did know somebody who worked in that field, especially in the Moore area in that time frame, they may look at those initials and be able to identify who that person was. The book does not have a company name, Florence said. Investigators have explored many opportunities to try to locate the company and the records. Young urged her sister's killer to come forward and own up to the crime. That's the sister. I truly feel that whoever it was would feel almost a sense of relief, maybe to come and finally admit it. I don't know. It depends. If it's a serial killer, they won't give a shit. Okay. OSBI Florence announced is offering a $5,000 reward. Oh, there it is right there. Huh. So that's the signature right there. You would think you could go back to the company and say, hey, who was on your, but maybe that cable company's closed down and all the books destroyed. Who knows? But that's somebody's signature right there. And very well could be the killer. But that sort of goes against the part where there was a guy standing outside, wearing all black. I mean, would a cable repair person wear all black and be standing around outside? I don't know. Although it does sound like the door was unlocked and the person came in without having a fight. So he surprised her. But what was the point of it, though? So let's say it was a cable person. Didn't steal a damn thing. But he ties her up. Or doesn't tie her up. He stabs her in the back 20 times and slashes her throat. Alright, so that was January 6th, and then we got one in July that year. So did anything come of that? Evidence in 34-year-old Moore homicide. Okay, it's only a few inches long and about an inch wide, but Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation officials hope a personalized keyring that's been missing for decades could lead them to the person who stabbed to death a Moore woman in 1981. Why would the person take a personalized keyring? Was it a gift that was given to her at one point? It's sort of, to me, it really points towards somebody that knew her really well. A boyfriend from the past. I think that logic makes sense. She's killed on her birthday, and it's almost like a revenge type, a scorned lover killing. A lot of anger there. Slashed her throat. What do you guys think? Do you think that's pretty likely? The body of Tracey Neilson, a University of Oklahoma student, was found in her apartment on January 5th, 1981, on her birthday. The keyring bearing her first name was never recovered. OSBI Director Stan Florence said investigators think the killer may have taken it as a souvenir and could still have it. But did you ever check to see where she may have gotten that? I think that would be, the souvenir thing, sure. I mean, but why was that important to her? I think it seems like it's the person who gave it to her, and they also knew it was her birthday. I think it's hard for me to think that she got killed randomly on her birthday. Because you have 365 days, right? So the odds of that are 1 in 365. And that's pretty low odds that she was killed on her birthday. So it seems like somebody knew it was her birthday, killed her, took the key ring. Okay, this is a crucial piece of evidence for us in this case. During a news conference Friday at the Bureau's Oklahoma City headquarters, Florence said Neilson's family, in conjunction with the OSBI and the Moore Police Department, is offering a $100,000 reward. At about 5 p.m., January 5th, 1981, Neilson's husband, Jeffrey Neilson, came home from Oklahoma City, where he had gone to buy a bottle of perfume for his wife's birthday. He was in medical school, too. I mean, man, just think how shitty that... See, here it is. The guy that she was dating feels like this guy, the scoring guy, and he knows that, man, she just totally moved up. she's going to marry a doctor, and she was mine, damn it. And he goes over there, and you know, I just really think that that's what happened. I think the person who bought her that gift, and she still had it there, he took it after killing her out of anger. I think if you can find out who gave her that as a gift. People don't generally make their own monogrammed keychains, right? That's literally a gift that somebody gives you, and then you'll use it because it was a gift. He was in medical school, and it was the first day of his second semester. He walked into the apartment, he said, where Tracey Neilson had placed 2 lobster tails. So he bought lobster tails, perfume, and he placed it on the kitchen counter for her birthday dinner. Then he walked into the bedroom and found his wife stabbed to death. What a freaking nightmare. Jeez. At the time of the killing, because the fact that this guy is a doctor really made that guy even more angry. Okay? Because now he knows that she's going to have this great life, and he had his life taken from him. Now, if it was some loser person, he might have accepted it a little bit better. Don't you guys agree with that? I can just picture it. And, you know, you just know that, too. Like, if you ever dated somebody and then they date somebody that's successful, you feel a little bit extra jealous. You're just not a psycho, right? You know, like, you're not a psycho, but somebody that's has that ability and just absolute whack jobness. I like that? Whack jobness. Yeah. Like any women out there, like if you had a boyfriend and you broke up, and the boyfriend then dates somebody else that's like, you know, they're having all this fun with. It's a little bit similar to that one case, the Kendra Hatcher case, where Brenda Delgado kept seeing the pictures of her boyfriend now dating a doctor of dentistry, where she was just a dental hygienist. So then she sees that her ex-boyfriend with her, and he knows that, oh my God, they're going to get together, and she's feeling really scorned, and then she plans this entire murder plot against her, actually, which is sort of an opposite thing, because she still loved him and thought that if she was just out of the way, that they would get back together. This guy knew that she wasn't going to get back together with him, right? So he didn't care about the guy. He just wanted to kill her for payback. So there you go. At the time of the killing, Jeffrey Neilson said he had no idea who could have done it. Jeffrey Neilson, who has remarried and is an orthopedic surgeon, see, there you go, in Durant, said he suspects his wife's killing was a random act. I don't know. Jeez, I don't know, man. It very well could be a serial killer type. You know, if it's a random person, then it's a serial killer type. Whoever killed her is killed again. I don't know where the rage came from, he said. In January, OSBI investigators released a cable repair ticket. See, that part does seem it's contradictory of what I'm saying. They hoped would breathe new life into the case. The last ticket in the book was for work done at the Neilsons' apartment. Florence said investigators determined the book belonged to a repair worker with Southwestern Bell Telephone. Investigators have, that's part of AT&T, so AT&T would have kept records. Investigators have interviewed retired Southwestern Bell workers. Although they've been able to decipher some of the information on the ticket, they haven't been able to determine what worker performed repairs at the apartment. How could you not have that in a record somewhere? And even from the beginning when you had this. Like, you just call the company up, hey, who was supposed to go over there that day? Investigators hope a forensic artist drawing of the missing keychain could jog someone's memory. Jeffrey Neilson said he's convinced someone has information that will lead investigators to Tracey Neilson's killer. Okay, that was July 11th, January 6th, January 6th, January 7th. Is that the... That's real similar. This is January 3rd here. Search for leads and more. Okay. Well, it turns out that was it there. Then on my desktop here, I have a, there was a news article from like now, you know, January 10th.
Yes, that's exactly what they tell me, hoping this is the... Yes, that's exactly what they tell me, hoping this is the year that someone who knows something comes forward.
Hey, thank you, Meredith McKenzie. Oh, that the 1 penny short of the cat eye. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see.
For Cindy Young, January 5th, 1981 remains vivid.
Our lives were totally changed that day.
Her older sister Tracy's life tragically cut short. The newlywed found by her husband stabbed to death in their Moore apartment on her 21st birthday.
We missed her. My daughter her name's Tracy. I named her after her. She was a great sister. I can't even really tell you how much I loved her.
OSBI still looking to solve the case, vowing to get justice.
I hope that by January 5th of 2022, we have identified...
You know, it could even be a guy that bought her that, you know, he wanted to date her, gave her the gift, and she took the gift, but, you know, she kind of just totally said, well, I'm not interested. And he's always held that against her. So it wasn't somebody that was really close that was known about. Something like that.
Find a suspect in this case. I'm sure that would be an enormous relief to Tracy's family and loved ones and friends who all miss her dearly. We're never going to stop. We're going to find out who did this.
Over the years, the agency has released these crime scene photos, a sketch of her missing keychain, and this cable worker's ticket. He has released these crime scene photos.
Yeah, so that's not something I don't think you would do. I mean, most people don't buy your own keychain like that, right? 1 by 4 inches, so pretty small.
A sketch of her missing keychain and this cable worker's ticket book left in the home, hoping the person responsible or someone who knows something speaks up.
Hopefully somebody out there will want to clear their conscience.
Cindy praying the same, crediting God for giving her and her family the strength to keep pushing forward.
Definitely. He's really the only thing that gets you through it.
Portia Riley, KOCO 5 News.
Also, it was January 5th. Wow, that's crazy. See, those ones are the ones that are really interesting to me, like that. Those kind. You know? I wonder if the ex-husband, you know, well, I guess I wouldn't really call him an ex-husband, you know. I wonder if he said that intentionally. Oh, I think it's just some random person. Because they know that there's some information that they have behind the scenes that somebody closer. I mean, that's just speculation, but... Man, God, that one's crazy. I don't even have a folder or anything on that one. That's what sucks. I just did that one cold on the show, so I don't have a folder, so I might have to go back and redo it. And put it all together. That might make a good Nefarious video. Although there isn't really a lot of map information. But it's not solved, so... Alright, everybody. Well, that was it. I'm going to move the other case, that long one, which is Patricia Webb. No, wait. No, that one. Wait, hold on. What am I? 11th, excuse me. It's the Cook case. That one's really long. I might do like an early show tomorrow just to do that one. And then I'll skip over to there's like 3 other cases. I got a lot of built up in here. Yeah, it's interesting. I think that really seems to me, it makes more sense. I think they were interested in looking for a boyfriend too. You've got an item taken that is a personal item. That's number one. With her name on it. Maybe something this person gave her. And then it's her birthday that she's murdered on. January 5th. So those kind of things together, it just, I don't know, doesn't seem coincidental to me. It seems like somebody that knew it was her birthday, and in fact, what if she was given that keychain the year prior, perhaps, on her birthday by somebody else? Because remember, she only got married 5 months prior. So what if a year before that or something, she was given that keychain? Now, they might know where she got the keychain, and that takes that all out of the picture. As a matter of fact, I'd be shocked if they don't know that. And if they're not thinking that it would, you know, they must have ruled out what I'm thinking here. But that's what I think. You know, I'm just throwing out what I'm saying. I don't know if they did any checking on it. But what if that was given to her on her birthday, and then that person was so angry, goes over there, kills her on her birthday, and then takes back the keychain that he'd once given her? That's my theory. They probably have a hell of a lot more information. You know, I could call over there and check. I might actually do that. You know? Have you guys ever considered? Well, a question I could ask is, have you ever determined where the keychain, how she acquired the keychain? And if they say, oh yeah, it was, you know, her husband gave it to her, then I would just, I wouldn't know what the answer was. Yeah, we already went over the memento part. It was, you know, maybe, you know. But if it's somebody that knew her, it was probably that, you know, because she was killed on her birthday. See, that's why I think somebody knew it was her birthday, and that's why she was killed. I think the odds are so low, 1 in 365 even, that somebody would randomly kill you on your birthday. And then they also take an item with your name on it. So you have 2 very personal things going on. Now, if they just took it as it was, you know, you'd have to then say, okay, it was a random killing on her birthday, and they just randomly took her keychain with her name on it. See, that's the part that's, you know, it's possible. It's possible it's just a random killer who went in there, killed her, happened to be her birthday, and she took the keychain, monogrammed, whatever the hell you call it. So there you go. Feel really bad for the husband too. It's like, imagine that. And he's out, bought her perfume. You know, they're just starting their life off together. You know, it's a little bit similar to the, to be honest with you, the Janice and Brandon Beitelman. Remember that? It was the black couple. They were doing, you know, really loved each other, but they were, you know, young. He just lost his job that day, and then he was going to go ride his motorcycle. She convinced him to, you know, that whole thing, and then she ends up getting murdered, just ruining the whole life ahead of them. crazy. I mean, his life probably got good again and everything, but he's probably always like, jeez, it's a freaking nightmare. That's what it is. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. I know it's late, 11:46 my time, 2:46 on the East Coast for you crazy people who stayed up this late to watch. Yeah. So, anyways, I am going to... hey, thanks. Glad you guys liked the show.
All right. Thank you to Zozo.
Hey, can I try it?
Oh my god, you're gonna sound weird.
But I want to try it. Katie 2! Katie 2 again! Yay! Shelley Wagner! Barbara Smith! Barbara Smith again! Katie 2!
Man, you're terrible. You're as bad at that as I am at rapping.
Gosh, Jumbo, you're so mean.
Shelley Wagner, Barbara Smith, Katie 2, Scott Holland, Boggle Queen, Kit Kat, Lee D, Sozo, Kevin Brown, Kit Kat, Gwen Jackson, Chris Stone, Lee D, Lisa, wait, Daimler, Trudy Richards, Barbara Smith, Cindy M, Susanna MacGilla Podrick, Kevin Brown, Chris Stone, Cowgirl Up, Kim F. Sharp Hart, Lee D, and Meredith McKenzie. Oh, and Miss Angels.
Hey, is it a subscriber wave right now? Will we get another one? Oh yeah, there we go. 2. Start now shaking. Yep. All right.
Thanks for the laughs, Gray, and the show. Starstruck. Starstruck.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, look at you're. I'm just a regular person now. Just doing shows. Getting a haircut on Thursday. Maybe I'll look a little younger. Might wanna. I gotta maybe take some, Grecian formula down here. Gonna wash that gray right out of my hair. Yeah. So if you missed what I said earlier, if you are a conservative and you voted for Trump, or even if you're not and you voted for Trump, don't let anybody make you feel like you're some monster now. Okay? Everybody's ashamed of what happened at the rally at the Capitol. I mean, there isn't anybody out there. Every single conservative out there condemned the hell out of it. Just like they condemned all the rioting going on and also delineated that there were good people protesting Black Lives Matter, but then there was also a violent part of that and Antifa the whole summer long. So conservatives cut down both of them whenever they happen because they're anti-violence. The left politicians, however, they'll only cut down when it's something on the right, because the whole summer they let it go, and Biden and Kamala only finally condemned the violence when they saw the polls dropping. You actually saw it on CNN when they went. They kept laughing at the riots all year, and then they said, you know what? Maybe there's something to it. It's really starting to hurt. And then, 2 days later, yeah, we condemned the violence. In June. Okay, you know how much destruction was done prior to that? It was crazy. All right, so the thing is, don't feel bad. However, what I would say is that it would be great to bring us all together if the people on the left, not the politicians, the actual Democrats that are out there, whenever you see the cancel culture trying to work, you need to defend those people. Like when they're trying to shut down somebody's website or their Twitter account, and even if it's not something you agree with what they say, you've got to defend it, because they're not going to listen to a conservative who's defending it, because we're the bad guys. We are the monsters. Okay? See, that's how they paint. They always do this. They paint conservatives as if they're the worst human beings on the planet Earth, and it's up to you to not listen to them. And I just do my shows and everything, but sometimes I feel like I've got to talk about this kind of stuff, because at least I can have a voice of reason. I feel like I have a reasonable voice here. Okay, I want people to the Democrats, independents, everybody out there that didn't vote for Trump. It's up to you to bring the country together, and don't allow voices to be shut down. That's the reality. Okay, because if you accept it and go, yeah, I don't like them either. Yeah, I want to let it go. Well, maybe someday it might happen to you, but I doubt it, because whenever the conservatives take power, they like freedom of speech and allow people to say what they want. That's why even though they hate it, they don't mind when a lefty stamps on an American flag and burns it. Okay, they hate it, but it's something that you can do because it's freedom of speech, right? Yeah. And as we know, it's a freaking nightmare. And there's a lot of culpability from the media and the left politicians on the mentality that people on the right had going into this election. They didn't trust anything, the voting system, and not because of what Trump said. It was because of what they saw for 4 years, absolute bogus attacks against the president, which people still believe today. Oh, God, he was a Russian agent. Oh, yeah, Charlottesville. He said there's good people on both sides. He said this, he said that. And it just goes on and on and on. It never ends, okay? Just listen to Lookner. Listen to, what the hell's this show? It's called Agenda Free TV, but it should be called Agenda Filled TV. He is one of those people that bought into every single one of the bullshit things that were said, and he repeats them over and over again like a rodeo clown. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you're going to have a show that's called Agenda Free TV, have no agenda, literally just report the news. Don't pretend, God, it's mind-boggling. And people are like, yes, Steve, you're so wonderful. Oh, God, you're so great. Thank you. Just speak honestly on the whole topic, If you think that Democrats don't, everybody has people that lie all the time. There's people lie all the time in politics. That's how they get shit done, I guess. Okay? So when you sit there, fuck. I'm done talking about it. Okay, but thank you, any of you people that are Democrats out there. It's up to you to help people not get canceled out and fight back against the media and the left politicians who want to cancel everybody. Okay, because the media is all on one side, and it's not just the media, it's the media and social media, which is internet. It's all on the same team. That's a scary moment when you have a a coalition between all of communication, social media-wise, because now they're shutting down any conservative places like Parler. And you have the media, television, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, with Fox News that's kind of starting to slide a little bit that direction too. And then you also have an entire party that now controls all three parts of Congress. You put that all together, and man, it's going to really create issues. A lot of issues. Yeah, you're the only one left, Kim F. Sharp Harp. Everyone else is left. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. And make sure that you wash your hands, maintain your social distancing, and wear your mask. I think I said all three of them. Mask, distancing, wash your hands. Okay? Keep doing that until we all get the vaccine, if these people can get their heads out of their asses and start putting shots into people's arms. Not like in Cuomo's New York, where he let actual vaccine doses go to waste because of the rules they've got there. Well, we can only give it to so-and-so, so we're going to let these just expire. Absolute joke, okay? And that happened, so go look it up. You won't hear that on CNN and MSNBC, though. You can forget that. All right, everybody, thank you very much. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flick rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher.
Why are you going like at the end?
Oh, it's a question. It's a question. Disagree is gonna be another question.
Hey, that's the wrong words.
And I'm always gonna be a pup protector.
Food reflector, interceptor. Gonna meet a little spectre with the vector.
On his spectre, with all respect, y'all. Just remember I've attempted to fucking check ya.
I have no agenda. On a agenda.
And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya
on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to it. All right, everybody, talk to you.
Wow, you seem really amped up tonight, Mary Lou.
I am really amped up. I was having such a great time tonight, but every time you call me out on the stuff that I do, it really puts me in a bad mood.
Oh, wow. So I'll do it even more next time.
Gosh, you're so mean, John Boy. See what I'm saying, everybody? Don't you all hate John Boy? He's so mean.
Wait, are you trying to get everybody to go against me? Don't do it, don't do it.
Well, that's what the media does, right?
Oh, good point. You're just trying to...
No, I was really trying to get people not to like you.
Gosh, she's mean, man. She is mean.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Lou. Gee.
No, it's Golly Gee Willikers.
What a bunch of crazy people. I tell you what. Man, these guys are... And by the way, I don't script any of that shit out. I just pretend that... That's what makes it seem so real. Mary Lou's real, everybody. You know it. You know it. I feel like she is. She's like this other being that's living inside me. Almost like a schizophrenia or something. All right, here we go. Or bipolar, whatever the hell it is. No, schizophrenia.
Control on my phone, but I don't need it. I'll chew it up and spit it out and delete it. Control speak. Just one of the ways that I defeat it. Feeding my groove, and as a troll on the move, it takes a second to remove. Cause every time I conclude, the troll is gonna lose, and eyes dry with lying, I see you creeping on the sly. Why you ain't you so sly when you're just a whiny cry? Rattle me, you're gonna fry. Gonna send you out to mummify. Walking on the street in the hand of stuff and not the reading. Walking on the street in the hand of stuff and not the radio and drop the top. Walking on the keys, on my skis up. I can't do that one, it's got 30 words in it. Crisscross, I'll make you jump, jump. Can't do that. Can't do it. Oh, make it boom. Oh, wiggle and shake your rump. I couldn't get the karaoke, How would he get my voice to the karaoke bar? Microphone finer, East Coast, South Carolina, Louis the building, and out now's Dinah. Over to China, cause I got a show there. Under my passport, cause I got a cool there. Rumors were right about me and a crew about something we did or supposed to do. You might not have heard it or maybe you have, but when I first heard it all, it was like I used to get angry and no left out, but you can say what you want to spell my name right. Cause I'm a little Delphi was rocking the house, but I don't know what the rumor was all about. If you stay there and tell all your friends, and if you wait then you'll see me again. This way I can hear it from the horse's mouth. I'm right there and there, we can straighten it out. We got a big mouth, big mouth. Maybe it's a dollar that I got a big mouth, but that's not what the rumor was all about.
Oh, you mean like I do karaoke, but I just use her voice? Yeah, I could do something like that.
You fill up my senses like a night in the forest. Yeah. inside your head, she said to me. The answer is easy if you take it logically. I'd like to help you in your struggle to be free. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover. She said it's really not my habit to intrude. Furthermore, I hope my meaning won't be lost or misconstrued. But I'll repeat myself. At the risk of being true, there must be 50 ways to leave your lover. 50 ways to leave your lover.
Look out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be Cardioid. Just get yourself free. Hop on the bus, just you don't need the sky's much. Just drop off the key, leave, and get yourself free.
Step out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be Cardioid. Just listen to me. Hop on the bus, just you don't need the sky's much. And get yourself free. She said it grieves me so to see you in such pain. I wish there was something I could do to make you smile again. I said, well, I appreciate that. Would you please explain about the 50 ways? She said, why don't we both just sleep on it tonight? And I believe in the morning you'll begin to see the light. And then she kissed me, and I realized she probably was right. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover. 50 ways to leave your lover. Just about the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be Cardioid. Get yourself free. Hop on the bus, just you don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, leave, and get yourself free. Step out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be Cardioid.
You know what I noticed? It doesn't let you, this thing that makes the voice sound like it doesn't let you do certain pitches. It's pretty funny. Right, Mary Lou?
Yeah. Would let me do it.
Good old Mary Lou. Hey, what's the one, the CCR song? What's the one that they do? Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen it? Let's try that.
Someone told me long ago, where the climbers fall down. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say it'll rain and sun and rain. I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down a sunny day. Yesterday and days before, the sun is cold and rain is high. I know, when that wait for all my time. So forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know, can't stop, I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down a sunny day. Have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down a sunny day.
Hey, not too bad, Mary Lou.
Hey, thanks, John Boy. Appreciate it. Hey.
Hey, all right. Wow, Mary Lou, boy, she could really pull that one out, you know? Good shit. Although now all the, the ad revenue from the show will go to whoever, unless I was using the lesser versions. But hey, what the hell? Who cares? Who cares? All right, everybody. That's it. I appreciate you guys hanging out here, and, be safe out there. Do you guys like Mary Lou?